Presenteeism is people turning up at work who are not engaged or not fully engaged and less productive for reasons of ill health. And I want to make the point particularly that it's about ill health because the research evidence that I referred to is all about ill health. I mean, when researchers look at it, we know there are many reasons for presenteeism. Sometimes people are just in the wrong jobs. But this is presenteeism that refers to ill health, is associated with ill health. That's really what everything else follows from. Presenteeism, at a very conservative estimate, is costing twice as much as sickness absence, just from mental ill health alone. The kind of figures we're talking about are about £1,000 per employee per year for every employer in the land, and about 650 of it is presenteeism. So it's very significant, and of course, getting it right, managing it well, makes a significant positive impact on the bottom line. So it's a real, it has a positive spin to it as well. Really, the situation, I think, up to now has been that employee health and well-being has been looked at mostly in terms of sickness absence because it is very easy to measure. But actually, the fact that presenteeism is difficult to measure doesn't mean that it's unimportant. And I think what is most important of all is that people are aware of this, because if people, employers, do not take account of it and just are in denial about it, then there are certain consequences. The consequences are that in the longer term people will remain in work but then take much longer periods of sick leave. So ultimately it's going to be very much more costly if ignored. So the main point about it is that people are aware of its, the damage that it does. There are a number of ways, mostly self-report questionnaires. The ones that we talk about is the WHO Health and Work Productivity Scale, which is a research instrument, and of course employers' needs are different to researchers. But I think I would advise people who are wanting to measure it to take a look at that scale and the other instruments that we've referred to in the resource on our website. But in the end, there are many ways of tackling it. But the employer needs to find the one that is most practical for themselves. The important thing is that it's treated as a whole organisational thing. There's very good evidence that very simple health promotion programmes help. One recently we referred to that's been done in Unilever shows a return on investment of about £6 for every £1 invested, so that's very effective. And of course we need to think about also building resilience into the organisation. But most important of all probably is early identification when people are having more than just a bad day. And the first people to likely to notice that someone is in difficulties with their health, particularly their mental health, the colleagues or managers. And if the manager has been trained to recognise it and trained to know how to talk to that person and to signpost them to signs of help, then that's very much likely to shorten the period where the person is in distress and may well start them on the road to recovery.